Just preparing. Let's
This being live streamed.
setting up for your
Okay.
YouTube live.
It's going live.
I think it's going live.
It's live.
Right. Hello. Okay, now we have a little delay. It's about a 30-second delay from what they see on YouTube.
Okay.
But, welcome to this is Deborah with Sistas Black Expats.
Hello.
Hey there. Do we have audio? We do? Okay.
Yes, I'm here with the Lovelaces who came to Manta, Ecuador, and I'm going to be quiet. This is Deborah with 60 Plus Black Women Expats. I said that before. Yes, they can hear you. Yes, and so I'm gonna be quiet, and so you guys can talk. Here's what I want because of the 30-second delay, because that's kind of messing with my head. So I want you guys to tell me why Manta, when Manta, and you guys talk.
Okay.
All right, Sharon, I think you should start. This all began with Sharon and her, I don't know where it came from, but a desire to retire abroad. So it was not on my radar until a couple of years ago when she started talking about it. So I'll let her explain how her process and processing work.
So for me, it started when it had started to brew a while back, probably in 2020 when there was all the confusion and different things going on. And I had never considered moving out of the country. So I started doing some research and trying to figure out what would it take to move outside of the country and what would it look like. So a part of my research included the University of YouTube. So I saw a number of videos, and I don't quite remember the name, but it was Summit. It was Summit something. A young lady, she and her friend started it, and so I started watching a couple of videos. And on the video, they had a young lady from South Carolina that was being interviewed, and I think they interviewed you. And so as I was watching the videos and I was looking at different places, I had 5 countries that I wanted to visit to determine which would be the primary place to go. And I had narrowed it down to Panama. So I went to visit Panama twice. I did the Panama relocation tour with Jackie, which was wonderful. However, I was hoping at the end of the tour, I'd be like, yes, let's go. But it was no. So I did not, I just didn't feel like Panama was right for me because of the weather. I don't like a lot of rain. So I thought I can't really do that. And I like the beach. And I love beautiful weather. So the weather was great, but I just didn't like the rain. So I went back to the drawing board and did some more research. And when I looked, Manta came up, Ecuador came up. And then I started asking questions like, what's the best place? What are the climate? Is there beaches? Well, are there beaches? And there were many beaches, but the one that got my attention was Manta. And when I saw Manta, I saw you on an interview, and then I saw Trudy and Reggie on an interview. Then I saw Jewel. So Manta just kept coming up. And so I told my husband and my sister, I said, I'm going to plan a trip for us to Manta, and we're going to check it out. But we're not going to make any decisions until we go on the exploratory trip. So we decided to go on the exploratory trip. And as we were going on the trip, I contacted you and I said, hey, I'm in the area. And you asked me would I like to come to a birthday party, and the rest was history.
Yeah, we just I think we fell in love with the group first. You guys were amazing. It just made the decision really easy. Because you're dealing with not only a different country, different environment, but a different culture. And it was such a relief and a breath of fresh air to meet other African Americans, first of all, anywhere, outside of the United States, Even here, we live in a predominantly white neighborhood. So just, it was a breath of fresh air just being around people that look like us. And we just immediately fell in love with you guys, with the group, and with just the way that you guys do things. It's like such a community that's even hard to find here, even where we live. And so, of course, then, the beautiful weather, the great food.
The wonderful people. The people of Ecuador are great.
Ecuadorian people.
We fell in love with the Ecuadorian
people. And just the food and all of the other things just fell into place. Medical care. We did our research on that. Cost of living. It was just like we just couldn't say this isn't it.
Yeah, it checked off all the boxes.
Yeah.
When we got back, as soon as we got back, we were like, okay, we're going to put our house on the market. And it sold in 4 days. So.
Sold in 4 days. We had been preparing the house, and it went much faster than we had anticipated. So right now it's a mad scramble to
get everything done.
Get everything done and get our things shipped down there. We did do some house hunting while we were there. It was almost like an episode of House Hunters International. We went from house to house to house. No, this didn't feel right. No, maybe this one. Nah, I don't know about that. It was, it was. We could have been on House Hunters International.
We should have been.
So so we found a target neighborhood that we liked and a house that we liked. So we
feel like we're good to go.
Yep, we're good to go.
Yeah.
Amazing. That's an amazing story. And I am so not surprised. You guys almost kind of, I was headed to Panama. There's a lot of people from Texas, a lot of people from the Dallas area that are in Panama. And I have friends, and I love me Charlotte Taylor, Charlotte Van Horn from Panama. And I was there when I discovered Manta. And then I did the research, and it just checked all the boxes, and the community was closer and smaller. Manta's about the size of the town that I grew up in. My childhood was right on the Gulf of Mexico, right on, the water. And so this a lot reminds me of my childhood.
Oh.
But I'm so glad you guys visited, because people go like, where's Manta, Ecuador? And I say, right between Colombia and Peru. And now we have direct flights from Panama, from our little international airport. So we're easier to get to. And so I was so excited that you guys contacted me, because I think very, very important when you're making a life-changing decision, such as where you're going to retire. A pretty place is not enough. An affordable place, that's great. If it's pretty, that's good. If there's good health care and weather and the food and the people are kind, all of that's great. But in retirement, you're not tied into corporate America anymore, where you have your own social group that we work with, and you're not tied into your family. So it's really important for retirees to have community. It was way up the list once you're retired. That you see people that look like you. Not only are there people like you, there are people of your group. Because when I scouted Puerto Vallarta, what checked it off the list was too much of a tourist city, number one. But there were only a couple of people my age. One was married and the other one was still working. Who am I going to have breakfast with at 10 a.m. in the morning? Play paddle ball with, and or do water aerobics. And so it was very important to me, when you guys said you were coming, find an event where I could introduce a couple to other couples. And I knew once I introduced you to the other couples, my work was done.
That is so true. Yeah. It was like hand in glove. We just fit right in. As you mentioned, the age group, the demographics are just right. Just the life experience of some of the people that we met, crosses ours, and it just feels like it just feels like, we're home.
Yeah.
When we left, I really did not want to leave. I really just, I wish I could have stayed there when we were there visiting. That's how comfortable we had gotten in the 2 short weeks we were there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard to find community, and community is really important. And like you said, Deborah, as we age, community is to me also at the top of the list because, we have a very strong community. We have friends that we have known for so long, but yet, the fact of leaving and everybody's asking, why are you leaving? Why? Even our neighbors are like, why don't you stay? It's like, well, we just got to go. It's that time. Yeah. The whole thing to me was an answered prayer because it was like, God, what's the next chapter of our lives? And how can we retire and enjoy the life that you have blessed us to have and be in good health?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. I was checking to make sure all that wonderful conversation we had, it looked like that wasn't being recorded. So I'm like, wait a minute.
Oh.
So
it is.
So it's being recorded. So I may ask you to repeat some of the stuff that you've gone on.
Okay.
Okay, so now we're catching up. So I was saying that I was not surprised that once you met couples that were in retirement also, that was the decision maker, because it's one thing to be in a place where there are people that look like you, but if they're not your age group and they're not available, and we have a frame of reference. We're baby boomers, okay?
Yeah.
We love the same kind of music. Our bodies are, move at the same speed.
Exactly.
And the community here is big enough where everybody kind of move and find their little niche of people.
Yeah.
I hang out with the single ladies, and we do basket weaving and everything. But I'm very the group is so welcoming that the singles and the couples, and we all blend together. We come together for meetups. We support each other's birthday parties where I was able to introduce.
Yeah.
I knew when I called Deb and Rusty and said, hey, can I bring this couple to the birthday party? I was like, of course you can bring them. We want to meet them too. They may be moving here. They'll have questions that we can answer. And then, there's people that have built homes here and then sold homes here. And it's just easier when there's an expat community. And that's why I tell people it's so important to do a boots on the ground, because if the community is not clicking, it just makes that transition a lot harder.
Absolutely.
It does.
You were starting to speak about family. So were your family prepared that you were going to retire abroad?
No, not at
all. Not at all.
We have always been involved in ministry, and we have been involved in ministry with our family. And then we moved away. We moved a lot, more than most of the people in our family. So they're accustomed to us moving, but they could not believe it when we said we were moving out of the country. It's like, what is going on with you guys? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Family and friends. Most people, though, are happy and excited, and they're like, we can't wait to come visit you. And we're like, we can't wait to have you. But it just takes some getting used to for people. And I don't think anyone believed that we would actually do it. So when our house was on the market and it sold, it was like, my sister-in-law was like, it's real. It's really real.
Mm-hmm. I think a big part of it is that I wasn't thinking in terms of, I was thinking about retiring. I'm going to retire now as now that the house is sold. But prior to that, when my concept of retiring was being in a house here in the United States. And I think most Americans' mental model of retirement is within the borders of the U.S. And so until we started learning about people that were retired and living outside of the U.S. and how well you could do, and how many, how large the communities they are in many countries around the world. It was like, wow, so we can expand. It just kind of reframed our thinking about retirement and where that could happen, and it just opened up many possibilities in terms of economics, in terms of socialization, ministry, and everything. It's like a whole new vista has been revealed to us, just by getting outside of the frame, the box that people have about retirement, particularly in this country.
Yeah. And I love to travel. So being able to have a place where I could place my roots and then travel, but not have to worry about expenses. I'm not one of those travelers that can just go all these different places every 2 and 3 weeks. That's not me. So I had to really consider what would work for my lifestyle, or what will work for us together. Kent likes to be at home and in the garage. I want to go all the different places, see all the countries, experience all the shopping and the food, and just enjoy life. And when you retire, the salary you had when you work is not the same. So you're having time, but you may not have the money. And I just made a decision last year that I was no longer going to exchange time for money. I had a health issue, and that it really propelled me into, God, you gave me life and that abundantly. How do I glorify you and enjoy the life that you've given me? And so that's really when the whole process started for me of looking abroad, because sometimes we're waiting for God to do something, and he's waiting for us. It's not just him, it's us too. What are you willing to do? Are you going to just sit? Like if you needed a job, you wouldn't just sit and wait for somebody to call you to work. You'd get up and do something. So that was a lesson that I had learned. You have not because you ask not, or you ask amiss. And so when I started asking, he started showing me different things. And here we are.
I'm glad wow. That's interesting, because my pastor was the last to know that I was moving to Manta, Ecuador. Everybody else, all my girlfriends knew. And there's my sister clergy. She's like, when are you going to tell pastor you leave? And it was my turn to preach. And I was like, oh my God. And so we always gather before, because we have a rotation of we all the ministers gather before we go to the pit. And Minister Sherry, she's like, Pastor Gordon, Pastor Deborah has an announcement. And I was like, well, Pastor, I'll be moving to Ecuador. He's like, Ecuador? I don't remember giving you permission to move. And I said, well, God gave me permission. And he just looked, and I said, God is everywhere. And so it was time to go to the pulpit, so I couldn't say anything. But that sermon, I think that's when I preached God is everywhere. And so I had built the scripture and everything. And he was at peace by the time it was maybe 3 weeks from my leaving, that close. But he was at peace with it. And of course, I've been home, every year since I moved here in 2023. So this is 3.5 years later. And I go back, and when I go back, I'm in the rotation and everything. So everything's lovely. But I told him, I said, I'm going to open TLC. That's the name of our church, Transforming Life Christian Fellowship. I said, I'm going to open TLC Ecuador. He said, when are you going to open TLC?
Yes.
So, well, God hadn't told me that yet. But I did. And I remember telling him, I said, he goes, why Ecuador? I said, I don't have the why, but God did confirm that's where I needed. Now, since being here, that was confirmed. The why was revealed. But I always take every major decision to God, because I have to live with that decision and make peace with my family. I traveled a lot for business, but never lived in those places. But they kind of because I had already scouted one place. They kind of had a feeling that I might make that move.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me look at my notes because I know. Okay, so found a place. You found a cream. There's things I like people to know before they get here. In terms of make sure that their phone services work over here. So since you were here, you were able to test that and get your family using the apps like WhatsApp that are free.
Yeah.
And so it's very important that they know that they are not losing touch with you, that they can pick up the phone and not only hear your voice, but they can see your
Yes.
and then how to send you stuff, information. And also, once you turn 65, you fall under a whole new guideline of banking rules in the United States, the FINRA rules, where they look very closely at your bank accounts. In fact, because my 60+ Black women, like women all over the world, 5,000 women, people have had their bank accounts frozen simply because they updated their addresses abroad. So that's something you really have to. In fact, I've completed the book, digital book. It's going to be online later this week, but it's like 8 chapters, 30 pages of things you have to do at your bank before leaving the U.S. And so I'll be dropping that link in here because they don't educate you on that.
Yeah.
Right.
And I had a friend in Uganda who had to fly from Uganda back to the States to unfreeze her bank account, a bank she'd been with for 25, almost 7 years.
Oh my goodness.
We don't know that there's several laws. Those laws have been on the 2018, but state by state are starting to enforce them more. And so it's a lot to cover, which is why I just did the digital book.
Yeah.
So, and so before you come, you'll continue to communicate with people here who have found out, ooh, I need to tell you this because I got over here and found out I couldn't do that or I had to do it this way.
Yeah.
Yes, and we are relying on you guys to coach us through the transition there. So far everybody's been very good. So we've been able to reach out to various members of the group and find answers to our questions.
Yeah.
So
that's really helpful. That is very helpful.
And continue to do that. Continue to do that. Yeah. Because when you're over here and it was something you should have taken care of before you left, it's like, oh,
yeah, that's a problem.
And people have had to go back home to get stuff done, because they didn't know. Tell people you don't know what you don't know.
That's right.
That is true.
And so when you start talking to people who recently been through it, because I had totally forgot. I was a certified financial planner for 25 years, specialized in retirees, but I've been away from that for years until my friend's bank account was frozen. And can you imagine having to up in her life and come back to the U.S. for a bank that knew her, had all her ID and everything? So there are certain guidelines, there's certain triggers that algorithms of these banks, and it's not just banks, it's all the financial institutions, which is why I dedicated the last couple of months compiling that so that nobody has to go through that again.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
That is good. Because we're still American citizens. We just are living and traveling.
Yes. Yeah. And that's what you need to tell your family, because I was like, well, don't you want to? I'm still a citizen. I'm not
That's
giving
what
up.
I tell people.
I still have Medicare.
American.
Yeah. I have Medicare, Social Security, all of that. That stays state banking. My bank still stateside. The money still stateside. But
and the taxes.
Paying taxes still.
But they don't know. So we're educating them. And as they come to visit, they will realize how small this world really is.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
That is true. That is very true. Every place we have been, and we've been to 3 or 4 countries now, and every one of them, the people have been wonderful. We've met people that are from Canada, the United States, Africa, and we have connected and stay connected with them. And we follow up with each other regarding our journeys. We just spoke with a young lady a couple of weeks ago, and she was like, "How are you guys doing? I just want to check in on you. And what's your plans?" And we're like, "Well, we're not going to go to Panama, but we will go to Ecuador." So that's like 3 or 4 different people that we've spoken to and have shared with them. We're not going to go and what we're doing. And both, one is a couple, the other one was a single woman. She is like, "I want to come to Ecuador." We were like, "Yes, come. It is wonderful here."
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Like encourage creatives, because I know you have a channel. So I want you to tell people what's the name of your channel and the purpose of it.
My channel is called Still Waters Podcast, and the purpose of it is a quiet place for the soul. When all of these things were happening, and there was just so much stress and contention, and I was praying, and I was like, "God, what can I do? How can I make a difference?" And I felt like God had told me in 2020 to unmute. You know how everybody was on Zoom, and he was like, "It's time for you to unmute, and I need you to have your voice out there." And so it took me a minute, but I did step out and I did it. So this month, I think, I am celebrating 1 year on my channel. So I'm so excited. And it's been a wonderful journey. I have like a Monday scripture and a Friday prayer. And then Wednesday, I do some type of teaching or interview or something, but always trying to encourage people and it's from Psalms 23, where it says, "God leads us beside still waters and he restores our soul." So that's where that came from. And when my mom walked through cancer, that was her scripture. So this is also in honor of her. So I'm on YouTube, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Spotify, all of the media platforms that I'm aware of.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Because wherever you go, your spirit and soul go with you, and you need to be at peace. So I watched 2 interviews you did with one of the local guys here, and it was absolutely beautiful. So keep it up. Keep it up.
Thank you. When I met him, he so inspired me, because one of the things that I would like to eventually do, I haven't gotten to that place yet because I've been so busy trying to move. But once I settle down and get my boots on the ground and my roots planted, I want to talk about how important it is to stop trading money for time. Money, you can always replenish, you can always get it, but time is not infinite. It's a finite resource. And it's so important that we make the most of the time that we've been given here on planet Earth. So, and sometimes I think, we work so hard and we're so pushing ourselves, corporate and stress and anxiety. And I really, as much as I pray, get in the word and spend time with God, I am always fighting stress, because a part of it is me wanting to be in control. And another part is learning to relinquish all of these things to God and lean into his spirit that is within me to help me do what needs to be done. And that's something that I'm learning, and I'm always wanting to help teach other people.
Wow, that's powerful. That's very powerful, because I remember a lot of people would say, because I dealt with retirees in my career, that was my pitch, was early retirement, and they were like, "No, I'm going to go back to work, and I'm going to work for years." And some were at the age where they could take their Social Security, whatever. Like, "No, I'm going to go to 7 or 70 or whatever." I said, "Really? Are you going to give all that corporate America for those few more dollars that you may end up giving to the medical profession, because now you're so stressed out that it's going to prescription drugs and therapy, when you could have taken that and enjoyed life at a place where your health was still good?" And so it made them think, because it's like, yeah, you're going to get 200 more, but it's all going to be in prescriptions and medications and hip replacements and all other kind of stuff,
Or
because you
memory
stayed
care.
in that stressful environment.
Right,
Yeah.
right. When we lived in California, we met an older couple. At the time we were younger. And one of the things that they had invited us over for dinner, and they were sharing their wisdom with us. And the one thing that the wife said was, don't put off for tomorrow what you can do today. Now, that was a term my mom used to use. But the way she said it was, she always kept thinking, or she always told people, you always say, when I retire, or when I do this, or when I get to that age, I'm gonna do this, this, and that. And she says, one, you don't know if you're gonna make it to that age. One. And two, what health will you be in when you get there? And so when she said that, I was like, you know what? I'm not waiting. I'm going to go on vacation. I'm going to do things. I enjoy traveling. I enjoy visiting other places, meeting people, talking, as you can see. So it's like, why not? Why not?
Well, I certainly thank you guys with all that you have going on. I am so glad that y'all carved out this time to share with me and to share with every viewer that comes across this, who still think it takes some kind of special courage. No, it doesn't. I said, you fly from Texas to California. Think of if we thought of the 50 states as 50 countries, this world is not that big.
Yeah.
And so, we're used to Mexico because that's right on our border and whatever. But I say, if you think of Panama, you're just 2 hours more and you're in Ecuador.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's what
I'm glad you guys shared this with our age group, especially. And so I look forward to seeing you again when you arrive, and just, being neighbors again.
That's
So,
right.
so thank you so much. I want to show, people say, well, let us, I think Manta is always of the 7th most biodiverse country. Most people don't know that. And so it's whale season now. I don't know if you guys will be back in time, but our whales are here. And I said, well, I see whales out, right on the beach here. And we have whales and sea lions. And then you saw Charles Hart, the wild horses in his place.
Yeah.
And so we have birds here that are only in Ecuador. So it's so much tiny little place. Wanted to, this is what you guys. So I love this picture that you see, because it looks like you're in a postcard, but you're actually standing right there in the neighborhood in Manta, Ecuador.
Yeah.
And since I filmed this inside, I wanted people to see what the outside looked like.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for visiting this, and I'm so glad it was one where you were outside with the ocean, Pacific Ocean right behind you.
Yeah. We had a blast. We really enjoyed it, and we can't wait to get there and put down roots, and that's going to be our home.
Yeah. We'll let you know when we get there, and we'll have lunch.
Yes.
For sure.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Y'all have a good evening.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye, Deborah.
Great. Okay, guys.
Okay.
I look forward to it. All righty. Bye-bye.
Bye.